Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of ATN Book World. I remain your uncle, Favor Michael. ATN Book World is a network's way of encouraging literacy. It is intended to help expand people's literary horizons by reading and discussing recommended books. I believe readers are leaders, and as a popular parlance says, that your life will remain the same except for the book you read and for the company you keep. Meanwhile, that was Abraham Lincoln that said that. And once again, I want to welcome you to this episode of ATN Book World. And today I'm excited because I'm having one of Africa's youngest author with me, and it's intriguing and it's compelling. And I would love you to stay tuned as we go on a quick break. When we return, I'm going to introduce my guest, the book for study, and I know you'll be excited. Do stay tuned. Welcome back, and thank you for staying with us on this episode of ATN Book World. Ladies and gentlemen, today we'll be looking at a very interesting book by a very young author and a very interesting one. The book is titled Adventures Around the Shining Egg. Yeah, Adventures Around the Shining Egg. And I'm privileged to have the author, Master Kamsi Yochukwu Emmanuel Anosi. Hello.
Hello, sir.
How are you? I'm feeling goosebumps having you on my show. You know, you're young. Really? How are you?
I'm fine.
Welcome to the show. Okay. Before we go into introducing our guests, let me go through a brief summary of the book. Adventures Around the Shining Egg is an intriguing book of short stories that essentially deals with leadership and family unity, ringed with excitement, wonder, magic, miracles, exploration, wisdom, curiosity, and personal growth. It is made up of 13 stories, yes, 13 stories, and written by an 8-year-old boy, Kamsi Yochukwu Anosi, a basic 4 pupil at the Mary Pearl View Academy, Port Harcourt, River State, Nigeria. The book evokes the image of an egg as a prize for the quest in this colorful book. Good governance and leadership. And leadership. So I would love to introduce our guest to you, Master Kamsi Yochukwu Anosi. Could you tell us a bit about yourself?
My name is Kamsi Yochukwu Anosi. I'm 8 years old. I'm from Unoha in Imbitolu of Imo State. Wow.
Did you hear that? You could feel the energy, you could feel the confidence there, and it's interesting knowing that book has gone, authoring book has gone beyond age limits. Now we have young authors who are coming up, and this is one of them. And I would also want to let you know that he is currently acclaimed the 3rd youngest African author. The 3rd youngest African author. You can browse that out, and we are excited having him on the show. Let me ask you, how did you become a writer, and how did you become an author?
It was my love for writing and creativity.
Wow, love for writing and creativity. It tells us that nobody just writes. You have to read before you write. So that means you consume books.
Yes.
Wow, you read a lot.
Yes, sir.
Interesting, because nobody, as a book that said, nobody writes out of vacuum. There's something that must inspire you. So that means our young author here will be an ardent reader. Apart from writing, what other hobbies do you have?
The other hobbies I love reading, teaching, doing house chores, riding my bike, and playing football.
Interesting. Yeah, he said reading, teaching. Did you say teaching?
Yes.
Oh, he loves teaching. Wow, that's interesting. And it's also interesting to note that you can only teach what you know. So, and then he said writing, by that means he has time for other things, and but he chose to pen down his ideas, and it's interesting. Everybody has a mentor. Everybody has one who inspires them.
Yes, sir.
So who inspired you first of all in writing?
It was my role model.
Okay.
Her name is Delight Moses. She's a well-talented girl. She's bold in speaking. She's good in doing anything that she's doing, and she's good in diction.
Oh, wow. So she inspired you.
Yes.
Has she written any book?
Yes.
Okay, and you read that book?
No, I've not yet read it.
Okay, but you know how you're going to be associated, you're going to have your
Yes.
relationship.
Yes, sir.
Wow. So what inspired you in her? Is it she said her boldness?
Yes, sir.
Wow. Is she in Nigeria?
Yes.
She's in Nigeria.
Yes.
And she's as bold as you're bold.
Yes.
Okay. You are acclaimed as a third African youngest author. Are you aware?
I'm aware because I've read it on newspapers such as The Guardian, Sun, and The Nation newspapers and other magazines.
Oh, wow. Did you just say that?
And other magazines.
Okay.
I am not just acclaimed as the third African youngest author. I am officially the third in Africa. The first youngest author in Africa is Michel Nkawangeng,
Okay.
a South African who published at the age of 7. And the second youngest author in Africa is Hafizat Agoke, a Nigerian who also published at the age of 7. In fact, I am the first male author in Africa. First youngest male author in Africa.
First youngest male author in Africa. I must tell you, if there's one thing that catch my attention, we are this young author is his boldness. Is the fact that he isn't just speaking. He has made his research. Well, and I'm excited, and I know you are also. Okay, one of the stories that is with the cave boy and the egg. And what message? Can you just tell us a bit about that story?
It's about teamwork, like how the cave boy and his father were able to work hard to roll the egg down the hill, and how the mother supported them by killing the bat that came out of the rolled egg.
Okay. So these stories. How did you get the stories? Were you told, or you just started writing?
I imagined. Wow. One of my interesting hobbies, I imagine. I love imagining. All these stories I did not copy it from anywhere. I wrote it through imagination.
Through imagination?
Yes.
You mean you sat down and you just imagined the stories?
Yes.
I must tell you, I am intrigued. I am intrigued. You know, that was the power of imagination. Right? Somebody said imagination is coined from two words, image and nation. It tells us the picture you have in your mind, and everybody has imagination. And everybody has the ability or the creativity to pen down what they have. You know, most times we imagine things, but we take them joking, and I so excited to know that you just imagine it and you write.
Yes.
Why you grew up? Did the parents tell you? Did you get to hear all the stories, tales from Moonlight Stories?
Yes. I watch them on TV, like Moonlight Stories.
Okay.
Sometimes I watch and get some moral lessons out of it. My father always asks me the moral lessons and what I learned from the stories that he told or what I've watched in Moonlight Stories.
Interesting. You know, that tells the power of parents in the life of a child. He had it, his father always asking the moral lesson. I remember growing up, my father always forced me to read newspapers. And I was asking, why am I reading newspapers? But he was always letting me know to jot down those big words. Whenever I jot those big words, go and check out this word in the dictionary. And it helps me today. It helped me to understand better, and it helped me before a word passes me by. Even if I don't know the exact meaning of the word, I can guess the meaning of the word. And when you check it, it will be in sync with the word. Okay, tell us more about the story. Marvelous gets his first position.
One day, his parents called him and told him they don't want to beat him anymore, that he should change. So he was tired of his parents. He also always failing his classworks and coming home and be beaten. So he agreed. During the holidays, instead of playing as he usually does, he studied his book hard. And when his examination were given, he wrote everything correctly. And when his teacher marked his script, all was correct. Then the teacher told his parents that he has improved. The parents then was happy with him and bought him many gifts. And he kept on getting his first position throughout his stays in that school.
So when I read that book, I discovered, when I read that story, first of all, I knew that Marvelous was so stubborn. He refused taking his studies seriously, and then afterwards he changed and he decided to take his studies seriously, and it gets that story actually tells me the power of concentration. Marvelous is someone who gives his best at what he does, and when he channels that same energy into studies, it produces the same result. And I believe one of the moral lessons of that book is everybody out there, child, adult, is to let you know that when you set your mind on something, you can achieve it. There's the law of attraction that says our lives are directed by our most predominant thoughts. It tells us whatever you think about always, you would achieve. We'll go on a quick break, and when we return, we will continue with the rest of our chat with this young author. Do stay tuned. Welcome back, and thank you for staying with us. And like we have a young author with us in the name of Master Kamsi and it's been exciting. And before I go to the next question for him, we are talking about Marvelous gets inspiration, and inspiration does not end. It's a continual process. And I would love to also know, once again, in case you missed out, let's hear from his opinion. What inspired you to write the stories, or to become a writer?
What inspired me to write this book was my love for writing, and was my desire to share my knowledge with other children, and were the storybooks my father bought for me. After reading them, I realized I can write mine.
Did you hear? He said they love to share. He's not just a consumer; he's also a producer. He loves distributing, and it takes boldness and courage to share what you know. And then we also know that those who share what they know, they don't forget, because one of the best ways to keep what you know is to share. And it's exciting. It's exciting. Knowing. Let me ask you, whom are you looking up to as? You mentioned a name, but do you have any acclaimed author, someone like maybe Chinua Achebe, Chimamanda? Whom are you looking up to one day get to that peak?
I'm looking up to Benson Ochukwu. He wrote a book titled The Proud King and the Beggar.
Okay. Benson Ochukwu, why are you looking up to him?
Because I've read this book and it looks very interesting to me, and I got many moral lessons from it. And his book have some questions which my father asked me after reading them.
Kamsi Ochukwu is actually 8 years old. I want to say this. Most 8-year-old children, their mind may not be tuned towards producing, towards creating something. But this is a young chap whom has decided to put down something to share to the world. And let me ask you, 8 years old, your age grades normally they should be running about playing. They should be running about looking for something. But what made you decide that I just don't want to be like my age group? I want to contribute something.
As I said, it was the storybooks my father bought for me. It inspired me. As I said, it was the storybooks my father bought for me. As I just finished reading, I had many imaginations, so I had to write it down. When my father came close and saw I was seriously writing, he then said that I should continue writing. He encouraged me to write more.
Remember, when we started the show, I said readers are leaders. And this is actually one. He had him, he said, from the stories he read, and his dad encouraged him to keep writing. Parents out there, it is important to understand what your child loves doing, and and help the child channel the resources towards what that child love. You know, growing up, then you hear parents say they want my child to be a medical doctor, whatever profession, those engineers. But you find out that some children will say, I want to be a footballer, and then I want to be a comedian. And then most parents won't support that child. But today a footballer earns what a footballer earns per week. Is huge. What a comedian earns per show is huge, and what a writer earns per show. Chimamanda Adichie recently published her book, The Dream Count, and if she tells you what has gone into the book and what she's receiving from the book, it's eternal. We know about Chinua Achebe, we have Wole Soyinka, we also have Benson Ochuko, we also have so many acclaimed authors, and most of them started somewhere. And today we have a young chap who has started from this age, and it's interesting, it's intriguing to you out there, my audience, to understand that age does not determine what you can produce. You can make impact irrespective of the age. All it takes for you is a desire to make impact. What advice would you give to your age grade watching you out there?
The advice I'm giving to them is they should not always play. Sometimes they should do something meaningful like reading and writing.
Meaning something meaningful like reading and writing. What if they don't like reading and writing? I only encourage them.
This book is a wisdom book. Anyone that reads it will be inspired by it. They can be inspired by this, but they can be inspired by this book.
Okay, one thing that I keep hearing from him is inspiration. Whatever you draw inspiration from will help you. Yours might not be writing, yours might not be reading, yours might be football. But Kamsi Yochukwu decided to pen down his inspiration. You can do that also. So, like he said, I also joined my voice to encourage his age grade out there, children out there, young and out there. Always have an inspiration. Something must inspire you. Inspiration is everywhere. You know, I write also, and I understand that at the point of writing, every creative artist is like a mad person, because ideas are flowing through your head. It's how to channel these ideas, and inspiration is drawn from everything, from experience, from social media, from movies, good movies actually, good social media content out there, not just any content. So you must understand that inspiration is the key to creativity, and look for your inspiration. Out of the 13 stories, what would you say, which of them is your favorite?
They are all interesting. I don't know which one to choose.
No, you must have a favorite. You must have a favorite.
I don't have any favorites.
What about the prince and the princess?
Yes, they are all interesting. I don't know.
Let's talk about the prince. What was that story about?
When they were sailing on a boat, they reached to a place called the palace. They decided to stay there because the father of the prince died. He decided to take over. Then he became the king, and people started hailing him. One day he wanted to check his palace. Some people wanted to attack him, so he sent his 9 to fight them, and he was happy that they won.
Okay.
Then the princess, who was sleeping throughout the fight, woke up and asked the king what happened. The king said he sent his 9s to fight the bad people that came to attack him. The queen laughed and said, "Couldn't you fight?" He said he was not in his fighting clothes. Then the queen laughed again. The king asked him, "What is funny?" She didn't answer him, and the king walked out of her front. Then, because of that, the princess became angry and called another set of bad people, who then came to kill the king. But the king sent his 9s to fight them, and this time she joined them to fight. As they were fighting, the knight and the king won, and they took the victory trophy. The princess began to cry. So the king decided to cheer her up with the trophy. So he gave her the trophy and proposed to her, and she became the queen. They lived happily ever after and gave birth to a beautiful born baby. And then the palace and the community lived happily ever after, but the bad people were not happy.
But you said the princess went and hired mercenaries, if I call them, let me call them mercenaries, soldiers, to come attack the prince. Why would the sister leave for soldiers to come attack her brother? When I read that story, I was asking, what were you trying to tell us then? Because I know the story was about bravery, because she encouraged the prince. Why couldn't you fight for your defense? But I was not like, why would the sister? And then you ended it. She wasn't happy.
Some people are jealous because if someone wins, they'll be jealous and want to have that thing that they have. So the king decided to give it to her so she can be happy.
One of the attributes, one of the features of the book is the pictorial messages in the book. It's not just a book you just read and read. The images. He said about imagination. So I believe he was meticulous when the publisher was going through the book, and then he must have told them to please make sure you add pictures so that my age grade of people reading the book will also have. As I'm talking there, I can remember some pictures. One of the pictures that stand out for me was, I don't know, what's that story where they caught the big egg and they found the bat inside.
The cave boy and the egg.
The cave boy and the egg.
Yes.
The picture of the bat, it looks so cute, and I was like, why did they kill the bat? The bat was looking so cute, and I was like, but the bat was looking so cute. I was thinking probably they could have taken the bat and trained the bat, but you were like, they killed the bat and then they had food. What were you trying to say in that story?
Because they were hungry, they didn't have any food to eat. They were so hungry.
Do anybody eat bats? Well, people might eat bats actually, but they were so hungry and they ate the bats. And I was like, okay, as they ate the bats and then they found they had other food to eat. Does it mean anybody could eat anything when they're hungry? Do you eat anything when you're hungry?
Yes.
Anything? Anything meant by food actually, because I know you. Do you have a favorite food?
Yes.
What's the favorite food?
Rice and chicken with salad and indomie.
This is actually, he enjoys life. Rice and chicken salad and indomie. Whoa, that's you. Okay, do you cook?
Yes, I cook.
Wow. Comes to your chicken cook. She doesn't just write, he cooks. What else you cook? What do you cook? What can you cook?
Indomie, and I can fry egg.
The Indomie cook, I hope he's not full of bad cider. It's something anybody can eat.
Yes.
Oh, wow. Your parents allow you to cook?
Yes.
You see? So it tells us that I keep emphasizing the role of parents in the life of a child. In the life of a child. He just said he cooks. I know his mom. Are you the firstborn?
Yes, I'm the firstborn.
Oh, wow. And I'm also the firstborn. But I didn't write the book at age of 8. And I'm inspired. I'm inspired. I'm inspired. And if there's any message I'm going to give out there to the parents, be involved in the life of your children. Be involved in the life of your children. You know, it's not just enough to give birth to a child. It's to train the child to become what the child is meant to be. And you have to be a coach. You have to be a mentor. You keep mentioning your dad. It seems you're more close. You're closer to your dad than your mom.
No, both of them, they inspire me.
Oh.
They inspire me.
But you mentioned you mentioned that like 5 times if I'm counting.
Because my mom is not always around. Sometimes she goes to buy foodstuffs.
That means mom takes care of the home and dad, being meticulous, takes care of the kids. Wow, I'm inspired. I'm close to my mom. I'm close to my mom. I'm not I close to my mom mostly, but I'm still to it's the first time I'm hearing a child say, a boy child. You know, we men child, we are actually some are accustomed to our mom, and then the saying is dad, and I'm inspired. Maybe I'll ask my dad and apologize and build a relationship with my dad because it shows the role of, you know, there's a skit I watched. A father training a child how to play bat ball, and then when in stone, is it cricket? Yes, cricket. He threw the ball at the kid. That boy should be 8 or of your age. The boy tried to hit it, and mistakenly the ball hit his hand. You know that bat ball, that cricket ball is heavy. And then when the child missed it, the child started crying, and his dad was training him. You know what his dad did? The dad didn't rush up to the child to stop the child. Told him, keep playing. Keep playing. Is it painful? He said yes. Keep playing. In life, most times situations might be difficult for you, but just keep pushing up. He threw the first one, he threw the second one, and then asked the third one, is it painful now? He said, no, it's no longer painful, Dad. And the dad paused and brought the child close. And he taught me a lesson. If it was a woman, you know what she would have done first? That game is ended. She will rush to that child and say, my son, what happened to you? But the dad taught the child a lesson. He said, life may not be fair to you, but just keep pushing on. People will not see the tears behind the stage. What they will see is glory, but just keep pushing, because what they want to see is results. And today we have a young chap here with results. So every father out there, you must be intentional. To every parent, actually, you must be intentionally involved in your in the life of your children. Before we end the show, I would love you to sell your book. Why should I buy your book? Why should I read your book?
Because it will inspire you to write more books. Like you said, you are a writer.
Okay.
It will inspire you to write more books.
That will inspire me to write more books. I'm actually, I don't need to read book. I'm inspired. When I was told that this is a young chap with a book, my mind blew up. I knew that I had no reason to give excuse, because if a child of this age could be thinking about impact, it tells a lot. And at this point, I would love to thank you, Master Kamsi Yochuku Emmanuel Anosi. Thank you for being on the show. Thank you. And this isn't the end. This is just the beginning. We look forward to seeing you in so many platforms. We look forward for Guinness World Record. We look forward to looking at Guinness World Record, getting to know about this. And that's what ATN Atlantic Television Network is all about. We promote this literature, literary writers. We promote these books as long as they are worth reading. And it's interesting to note that this is apparently free for now. It's for now, but we believe in ATM, we believe in excellence, we believe in pushing out talents out there, we believe in encouraging you to read. And nonetheless, thank you for being on the show, and please don't stop writing.
Thanks.
Don't stop writing. Around this, before we go, let me give us just a brief. Round the Shining Egg is meant for children and young adults. Round the Shining, you can see the book is meant for children and young adults. Aside the stories, the dramatic pictures on every page of the book depicting scenes from the stories make the book look like a cartoon television, and that will naturally capture children's attention anytime. And I would also encourage you to go get a copy of the book. I believe it should be circulated worldwide. It should be in most leading bookstores, and we would encourage you to go look for a copy of the book and read the book. And this is where we wrap it up on this episode of ATN Book World. Before we go, don't forget we are open for sponsorship of this program, jingles and adverts placement, news and events coverage, personality, society and political interviews, product service promotion and commercials. You can watch us live on www.atlanticnetworktv.tv, on Facebook and YouTube, Atlantic Television Network. You can also watch us live on Avo TV channel 205. Channel 205. You can also watch us live on Limex TV platform, on IFAS Tech platform, on Apple TV. Yes, we are live on Apple TV, on Niger TV, on Iroko TV. You can connect with us on our ATN socials. Subscribe, like, and share. Facebook and YouTube, Atlantic Television Network. Instagram and TikTok, Atlantic Network 1. On X, at Atlantic TV Net.